I think I said that because Kingsman was being a loser.
You ever met someone who acts all nice to your face but switches up the second the door closes? That's exactly what Kingsman just exposed about Cece, and this time, he didn't come to play. He pulled out real evidence, screenshots, full Discord logs, timestamps, and private DMs that flipped the whole story upside down. What kicked off as a heated Marvel Rivals tournament dispute turned into a full-on credibility collapse right in front of everyone. Things spiraled fast. Cece tried to twist the story at first, but then got caught slipping, contradicting herself again and again until there was no way to recover. Once Kingsman dropped those files, the internet exploded. Nobody held back. People were basically saying, "We've seen enough," and the fallout came crashing down almost instantly. Sponsors started stepping away quietly at first, then made it official in public. Within just 2 days, several deals vanished like they were never there. No rumors, no guessing, just cold, hard proof for anyone who missed the drama unfolding from the start. Here's how it all began. Kingsman got kicked out of a $40,000 Marvel Rivals tournament after being hit with the toxic label, and that tag spread like wildfire, but he wasn't about to stay quiet. He clapped back hard, dropping clips and messages to clear his name. The receipts showed he wasn't trash-talking or attacking anyone. He was just telling his teammates to lock in and take the match seriously.
You understand?
No, it's
Well,
not.
you've been making
Yes,
me play
it
shit.
is!
Of course I'm gonna
How
play.
do you not
Wait,
see the
wait,
problem right now?
Wait, first
Oh.
of all, it's
Dead ass Kingsman, like shut the fuck up.
Okay,
First of
bro.
all,
You're doing too much.
Lucy's not even on Invis. Second of all, you're getting value because
No, she shouldn't be
Yes,
dead.
yes.
I'm
you're
getting
only
value
able to
because I'm
rebuild them because
1v6ing.
Hulk is for you, bro. Yes, Zaza is 0-5, but we won the point, bro.
Nothing crazy, nothing disrespectful, just straight competitive energy. After that, Cece and a few others jumped in with their own public statements, and that's when the drama really started to heat up.
I don't think King's a loser. I think he's a good player who just wants to win. I think I said that because Kingsman was being a loser. You just criticized and demoralized my teammate for an hour, repeatedly ignoring our mentions to stop. Like, that's loser behavior.
Apologies went up, people claimed accountability, and most thought that was it, a clean wrap-up. Lesson learned, everyone moves on, right? Wrong. Behind the calm surface, something completely different was brewing. While Cece was out here posting apology threads and painting herself as misunderstood, she was sliding into Kingsman's messages with a totally different vibe. In those private DMs, she sounded supportive, chill, even friendly. That double-sided behavior is exactly where the whole situation started to crumble. Kingsman had enough. No more image saving, no more silence. He dropped the full document for everyone to see, and once it hit the internet, things went downhill fast. The file opened with Discord screenshots that instantly flipped the entire story. In the logs, someone Kingsman believes to be Cece, based on her writing style and past convos, was allegedly messaging Z's boyfriend, Capital. And here's the wild part. The messages pushed the idea of using an alternate account to secretly record and clip content without revealing who was behind it. That one move alone changed how everyone saw the situation. It wasn't just drama anymore, it looked like strategy.
I'm not a drama farmer, but then I saw everyone drama farming on Marvel Rivals, and I was like, let me make some money too, bro. Let me get some viewership too. Loki, this is my chance. I was always thinking, you know, when people like get canceled and then they pop off on views, well, they stay relevant by getting in drama. Like, let me farm for once in my freaking 6 years of content creation.
But it didn't stop there. The messages got darker the deeper people read. One line jumped out and froze the timeline instantly. Download clips if there's anything that can help us get him kicked off the team. That single quote flipped the narrative completely and made people question everything Cece had said up to that point. That alone shows this was never about one bad game or some little misunderstanding. It was full-on planning. The screenshots straight up revealed people in that circle talking about gathering clips, not to fix the issue or talk things out, but to build a case against Kingsman. It wasn't about team unity, it was about taking him out, and the follow-up tone, even worse. One message said, "Kingsman, like everybody else, is replaceable." That line hit hard and rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I mean, this dude was one of their best players, the kind that carried matches when things got rough. Calling your top performer disposable while you're still benefiting from his skill? That's a cold move. And to top it off, they threw shade by saying he was only playing for the money, like that was some kind of moral issue. But come on, this was a $40,000 tournament. Of course, everyone wanted that prize money. That's literally the whole point of competing. That's not greed, that's motivation. Kingsman even said he needed that cash for school expenses, being real about his situation. That made it hit even harder when the public saw Cece claiming she had nothing to do with getting him kicked. while those private messages told a totally different story. The screenshots told a whole different story. Someone in Cece's crew was clearly trying to justify what happened after the fact, and instead of shutting that down, Cece just kept her distance publicly while staying deeply involved behind closed doors. When Kingsman dropped his first video laying out his side of the situation, Cece suddenly slid into his DMs, and that's when everyone noticed the wild contrast between what she said online and how she talked in private. Her tone wasn't soft or sorry, it was demanding. She didn't ask for help, she told him straight up to handle the NPCs in her Discord and on social media. Total switch up. But Kingsman stayed calm through it all. He replied that he'd already told his community multiple times not to harass anyone, and even said if she could give him the Twitch usernames, he'd personally ban them himself. That's a fair and respectful response, right? But Cece's next message? That's where everything crashed. She told him people were blaming her for getting him banned, and then she added the line that made everyone stop scrolling. All I said was, I agree with Baim. He was going to boot you anyway, no matter what I did. That one statement hit hard. It didn't make her look innocent at all. Because if someone was getting kicked no matter what, agreeing with it doesn't make you neutral. It makes you part of the decision. And that tiny bit of honesty turned into one of the biggest red flags in the entire situation. She had every chance to say she disagreed or that she at least tried to stop it, but nope. Instead, she flat out admitted she co-signed the move and then got mad when people caught on after the screenshots dropped. Once those receipts hit the timeline, fans instantly started calling out the contradictions. That's when everything shifted again. The tone, the mood, the whole energy of her messages. Suddenly, it wasn't about the facts anymore. It turned into a guilt trip. Cece messaged Kingsman saying she wished he'd asked for clarification before posting that godforsaken video. Then she added that she was having panic attacks and mass banning people across her platforms. The entire tone flipped from confident to emotionally charged, and it didn't stop there. She went on to tell him that if he really cared, he'd delete the video or make another post clearing things up. That's when people's perception of her started to change completely. Instead of taking accountability or responding to what the screenshots actually showed, she leaned into emotional pressure. And then came the most controversial part, bringing mental health into the conversation, not as context, but as a shield. The way it was worded made it feel less like honesty and more like manipulation. The implication hit hard. She wasn't trying to clear the air, she was trying to control it. The message was clear. If Kingsman didn't take his video down, he was being blamed for her distress. And that didn't sit right with a lot of viewers. Let's be real for a second. Anxiety and panic attacks are serious, and they deserve compassion. But they don't excuse harmful actions, and they definitely don't justify trying to silence someone who's just telling their side. That's where things started to look calculated. The same DMs where Cece mentioned panic attacks also showed her being sharp, defensive, and demanding. That contradiction made the mental health angle feel less like honesty and more like damage control. People noticed, and fast. It felt like emotional leverage instead of accountability. But Kingsman didn't fold. He stood his ground and told her straight up that the VOD was staying up. He made it clear nothing was taken out of context, and he wasn't about to delete evidence just to make things more comfortable for her. That line drew a hard boundary and showed he was done being pushed around. And that's when Cece snapped back. She accused him of throwing her under the bus for clout, saying he was just chasing views. Then she doubled down, claiming his own behavior got him kicked and that he just couldn't accept the truth. That back and forth took everything from drama to full-blown chaos. And by that point, everyone watching could tell the situation was way deeper than a tournament argument. Then Cece took things even further. She accused Kingsman of harassing Za over a long period and claimed he caused her distress. She said that even after being told to stop, the harassment allegedly got worse and bounced back onto her. That accusation instantly became another flashpoint in the whole mess, and viewers wasted no time digging back into the clips to see what really happened.
So I would have been kicked out the day of then. I would have told that fucking buster to uninstall the video game. 050 my game is crazy. Chat, do you know that the KP rate for kills in this game is like 90%? Like, if you're part of the game in any capacity and somebody dies on the enemy team, 90% of the time you're gonna get either a kill or an assist off of them. 100%. It's like 90%. Everybody's part of every kill, which means if you're 050 and your DPS is 18 kills, you haven't logged into the game. You're AFK, your computer's not on.
What they found told a completely different story. The so-called harassment was literally Kingsman asking a teammate to switch characters during a high-stakes competitive match. No name-calling, no insults, no personal attacks. Just pure in-game strategy and standard communication that happens in every esports team trying to win. The irony? It's impossible to ignore. After Kingsman got removed, the team's performance tanked. Losses started stacking up fast, and before long, fans started realizing the problem player might have actually been the missing key holding the team together. It flipped the whole narrative upside down. But let's keep it real. If asking a teammate to swap off Black Widow for better team balance counts as harassment, then competitive gaming is done for. Every serious player talks like that. Strategy isn't bullying, it's teamwork. Shot calling isn't abuse, it's how professional squads operate, especially when real money is on the line. And in a $40,000 tournament, communication like that isn't toxic, it's essential. What really made people stop and think was when Cece claimed she was now facing harassment 10 times worse than what Kingsman ever went through. That comparison didn't sit right with anyone. Kingsman had lost his place in a major tournament, got labeled as toxic in front of thousands, and saw his reputation dragged through the mud online. In esports, reputation is currency, and once that label sticks, it's almost impossible to shake off. Meanwhile, Cece was catching backlash because of her own leaked messages, the ones she wrote and sent. Those are two completely different situations. At this point, people weren't buying the "I'm being attacked" angle anymore. It started looking more like she was frustrated that the story had spun out of her control. And when fans began connecting all the dots, the vibe shifted again. Big time. After the DMs dropped, after all the pressure, and after trying to get Kingsman's video removed, Cece went public with a statement. She claimed she was literally in the middle of class when she saw everything explode online and wanted to set the record straight. In that post, she denied that the DMs involving Kaplan were hers, but then turned around and admitted she did flame Kingsman during the situation. She said she'd been trying to apologize ever since that night, but by then people weren't convinced. It didn't sound like damage control anymore. It sounded like an attempt to rewrite the story before it completely slipped away. The problem for Cece was simple. The internet doesn't just take words at face value anymore. People fact-check everything. Within hours, community notes jumped in, and the online detectives went to work. They zoomed in on every Discord screenshot, checking profile pictures, badges, user IDs, tiny details that are nearly impossible to fake. And once people started lining everything up, Cece's denial didn't match the evidence at all. The proof was too strong, and the whole story collapsed in real time.
We were in Discord and then saying like, oh yeah, we're gonna lose, and these guys, my team sucks. And then he was talking about like how some other tournament he's in was like way better. And I think Bassman was just not taking that disrespect. And low-key, like I didn't want that disrespect either. Like I didn't want someone on the team that was just constantly gonna like talk us to his chat.
After that, she tried to pull the classic "I just want to move on" card, saying she was done with the drama and asking everyone to stop calling it out because it was bullying.
Making this video in response to Kingsman's video and also to all the chatters that are going to come in and ask questions again. I'm just going to direct you to this.
Yeah.
And it's the last I'm going to speak about.
We're not going to watch this the whole time. I don't want to listen to this for 15 minutes. Don't. It's because they're being hostile and aggressive, and the moment that somebody responds that way, they claim that it's misogyny. You're using your identity as both a sword and a shield.
But accountability doesn't work like that. You can't throw accusations, deny what you did, get caught in 4K, and then suddenly decide the conversation is over just because it's uncomfortable. The internet doesn't forget that easily. And while all that was happening, sponsors were watching closely. They didn't waste a second reacting either. Within roughly 48 hours, the fallout started. Solaris Gaming dropped an official statement saying they'd been informed of the situation and were removing Cece from both the Solaris roster and their creator program. Not long after, Infinity Mice followed with their own post saying they don't support any behavior that targets or disrespects other creators. That was a major blow. From that moment on, the consequences weren't just internet talk anymore. They were real. Partnerships vanished, and her public image took a massive hit overnight. Each brand that pulled out ended their statement with the same clear message. The partnership would not be continuing. When companies move that fast, it's never just about drama or people being too sensitive. It's about risk. Plain and simple. Brands don't walk away unless the situation is so undeniably bad that staying silent would hurt their reputation more than cutting ties completely. And that's exactly what happened here. The internet spoke, the evidence hit hard, and the fallout was impossible to ignore. By that point, the optics were brutal. There was no spinning it anymore. But just when people thought it couldn't get worse for Cece, the internet dug up an old clip and it hit like a bomb. In the video, she straight up talks about how drama and cancellations boost engagement, saying it's how people stay relevant online. She literally breaks it down, explaining that controversy keeps names trending and eyes glued to your content. The timing couldn't have been worse. Viewers immediately started connecting that clip to everything that had just gone down. It made the whole situation look calculated, like she already knew exactly what she was doing and how it would play out for attention.
I did do it at wrong times, I do admit. But in regards to me telling him to shut the f up, that is the only thing I think I am 100% justified in, because Zaza said, "You're making me feel like sh."
A lot of viewers took that old clip as way more than just casual commentary. It sounded like an admission. People felt like Cece wasn't just describing how outrage cycles work. She was showing she fully understood the game and was willing to play it if it got her attention. But that plan blew up in her face badly. Yeah, she got attention all right, but not the kind that helps anyone's career. Instead of growth, she got scrutiny. Instead of sympathy, she got receipts thrown back at her. And instead of staying relevant in a good way, she became an example. The cautionary tale people now use when talking about self-inflicted downfall. It turned from a PR mess into a full-blown reputation collapse. Meanwhile, Lucy, the teammate who told Kingsman to shut up mid-match, decided to double down instead of stepping back. She claimed her behavior was completely valid and made it clear she wasn't taking anything back. That bold attitude didn't help the situation at all. It just made the whole team drama look even messier and kept the controversy burning longer than anyone expected.
Weird how women manage to ruin everything competitive in these team games. I think this does have to do with the fact that they're women.
Lucy's stance only added more tension, and then things took another wild turn. Leaked DMs between Lucy and Kingsman dropped. In those messages, she tried to apologize, but still managed to pin some of the blame back on him. It came off like a half apology. No real ownership, no clarity, just enough regret to make her look softer without actually admitting to anything. Viewers saw right through it, and the backlash kept growing. Then, there was Zar and her boyfriend, Kaplan. As soon as the drama blew up, both of them locked their Twitter accounts down tight. Not long after, Zar posted a long statement saying she had no clue about the Google Doc Kaplan had made. She claimed she wasn't involved and didn't even know what was being written. But here's where it fell apart. There's stream footage that totally contradicts that claim. In that clip, Zar is literally talking about Kaplan working on a document and gathering evidence. Once that resurfaced, it became nearly impossible for people to take her word at face value. The whole thing looked staged, like another attempt to rewrite history once the proof came out. And that's when people noticed the pattern, the same one repeating over and over again. One version of events told publicly, and another version buried in leaked messages and old clips. By that stage, the trust was gone completely, and when trust disappears online, it almost never comes back. So when you step back and look at the full picture, the issue becomes painfully clear. None of their stories match. The timelines clash, the public statements don't align with the private conversations, and the explanations keep shifting every time new evidence drops. That's why so many people stopped giving any of them the benefit of the doubt. It just didn't add up anymore. At a certain point, the whole thing stopped looking like a misunderstanding. It started looking intentional. And here's the part nobody could ignore. In the end, Kingsman came out on top. His Twitch channel exploded past 20,000 subscribers. His community doubled in strength, and people who'd never even heard of him before showed up just to show respect for how he handled everything. Instead of getting buried, he gained momentum. Instead of losing credibility, he earned trust, something that's rare in online spaces once your name gets dragged through controversy. Meanwhile, Cece's story went in the opposite direction. She lost sponsors, got hit with non-stop community notes, and became a live example of what happens when you try to play both sides. She wanted to act like the victim in public while staying sharp and hostile in private, and that double life caught up to her fast. That disconnect is what truly ended it all. Not the clips, not the tournament drama, not even the Discord leaks. It was the contradiction between her public apologies and her behind-the-scenes behavior that sealed her downfall. She thought a few "I'm sorry" posts could wipe the slate clean while the same behavior continued in private. But once that got exposed, even her biggest defenders had to take a step back and admit something wasn't adding up. By that point, there was nothing left to spin. The story had told itself. And let's be real about what this was actually about. It was never just over a Black Widow pick or a team composition argument. Every competitive team argues. It's part of the grind. This situation ran deeper. It was about how someone treated another person, how far they were willing to go to damage his reputation, and how quickly they flipped into victim mode the second the truth came out. That's what hit people the hardest. It wasn't about gaming, it was about character. And when the mask slipped, everyone saw exactly who was real and who was just performing. Cece's career probably isn't over forever, because let's be honest, internet careers rarely end cleanly. But bouncing back from this, that's not going to happen with vague posts or panic attack mentions. It's going to take real accountability, consistent actions, and a lot of time. Even then, some of the damage might never fully fade. Once trust is broken online, rebuilding it is like climbing uphill in a storm. It's possible, but it won't be easy. At this point, the situation feels like a full reset for her. The question is whether she's actually ready to face what happened instead of just trying to outrun it. So now, let's talk about it. Do you think Cece truly deserved to lose her sponsors? Or did the internet take it too far this time?
Talking to him, she was degrading him, calling him a loser. But now whenever they face accountability, now they're the victim. Nope. Oh, no.
That's just what happens.
That's such a good point. You're so right about that.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Fame Rant Daily for more deep dives into influencer and media industry drama, power abuse behind the scenes, and the stories that don't get talked about enough. This story might be over on TV, but online it's far from finished, and the next one is already lining up. I'll see you in the next video.